Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome to Maker Monday, and it has been such a long time and I'm so excited to be able to show you this project today. If you haven't worked with our ceramic paints, you're going to want to make sure that you just kind of listen today very carefully, because there are some tips that are going to really come in handy. But also you're going to see the versatility of these ceramic paints. Now, here's the problem that a lot of people make. They will use different maybe permanent pins or things that they see and think that that's going to hold up on glass and ceramic, and it absolutely is not. There are inks and things that are in that are going to fade, even with just some sunlight or use. But what we have developed with these ceramic paints allows you an incredible amount of versatility, the ability to be really very artistic in what you're doing. And not only can you use them with the stencils and be able to use them in their gel form, but you can also thin them and create literally pieces of art to where they can become backgrounds for your stencils and your artwork. But also this is a mug that I am working on. I started it yesterday, and I'm going to be gilding this handle as well as gilding the rim and just a little bit of the base, and this is acting as a background for my stencil art. So I love the fact, if you can just kind of get a close-up of this, it's a little bit of a combination of dirty pour and marbleizing. And the cool thing is it's permanent. This isn't going to go anywhere. So you're going to be able to create pieces of art on ceramic and plates and things that you're going to be working on. So I've got a camera over here and I've got Facebook over here. So I want you to come a little bit closer, because I want you to really be able to see what it is that I'm working on. So these are our ceramic paints that you see here, and we have them in a lot of different colors. We're getting ready to introduce some more colors, but you can work with these and mixing them to make custom colors as well. Now, just to protect my countertop, I have put some aluminum foil here. And I've got a Tupperware container. This could be a little bit larger if you wanted to, because you're gonna have a lot of drips and things that you want it to be able to catch. The other thing I want you to make sure that you have is I want you to have some gloves to be able to protect your hands. Now, as you can tell, I need a manicure desperately. I need them to hurry up and open up. So, but today I do, when you are working with these ceramic paints, I would like for you to use gloves when you are creating a dirty pour. You don't have to use gloves if you're using them just with the stencils, but in the dirty pour and where we're going to be manipulating them today, I would like for you to just have some gloves to wear. Something else that I want you to have is you can get an eyedropper. So that way, I just grabbed this out of our medicine cabinet. This is some golden seal that was empty, and I'm going to use this eyedropper. Something else you might want to have is a straw. And I've got some plastic spoons and forks, and you're going to see why you're going to want a plastic fork later. As well as these are some IKEA cups. So I love going to IKEA. You can get very inexpensive plates and mugs and cups that you can do projects on. And of course, you're just going to need things from your household. I've got Chinette plates and bowls, as well as my stencils, some scissors, and some paper towels. So things, ancillary things that you'll have automatically in your kitchen. All right, so what you're going to need to do, and I'm going to put my glasses on so I can make sure that I'm seeing what I'm doing. You're going to want to make sure that when you are working with these ceramic paints, that you're going to create washes with them. And that's going to be done by thinning them down. So you're going to add just a little bit. Now this is, I am working with more of a kind of a tangerine orange. So I'm going to squirt about this much in here. It's going to allow you to be able to see. This goes really, really far. And as always, tell me where you're tuning in from. Let me know what part of the country you're in. And I know many of us were still kind of in quarantine. So it's a great opportunity for you to be able to make these mugs and plates and things to be able to enjoy this summer. I love very artistic things like this, and actually I'm really excited to create a whole series around these plates. When Gene came in to check on me yesterday, he was kind of like, and what are you doing? And I was like, hang with me, because this is going to be really, really fun. It's taking the concept of kind of dirty pouring and making glazes, but these are permanent. Now, if you haven't worked with our ceramic paints before, you do need to bake these, but the quality and the permanency of these guys is going to be like something that you would use in almost a glaze if you ever did any type of pottery. The quality is there. These aren't like some permanent markers that the ink's going to fade and wear off. This is what this product was actually developed to do. All right, so now let me show you. I'm going to go ahead and put my gloves on. And the only reason I'm doing this is I just don't want to stain my hands. It will come off, but it's because I'm doing a dirty pour. You don't have to wear gloves if you're not thinning this down, and it makes it just a little bit messier. Tell me where you're popping on from, where you're from, and I would love for you to share if you have used these ceramic paints before. Also, you want to be sure and join our Crafting a Beautiful Life group. This Crafting a Beautiful Life Facebook group is a closed group of people to share projects of where they have used a Maker Studio products. All right, so I've thinned this down. You want to be able to have it a very thin consistency. Usually it's going to be about 2 parts ink to 1 part water. You can make it a little bit thicker and you can make it a little bit thinner. And you're going to see as you start to get used to this how you can manipulate the final look as far as what you're getting on ceramic pieces like this. And this is a great backdrop to come back and actually put a scripture verse on or some words. We have some new stencils coming out, our new designs later on this month, the end of this month, that you're going to love. One is like, hello gorgeous, good morning handsome, and they're just really small tight fonts. It's going to be adorable on that mug. All right, so now here is my IKEA mug that I'm going to be working on. And I'm going to literally take this, I'll start with just a little bit with my spoon to kind of show you. So I'll start to pour this on top of it and move it around. Look at this. So it's a lot harder when you're working on a mug like this. Because you have to continually kind of move it around. But I like it as an opportunity to be able to kind of fill it in. So I want to be able to show you something. If there's an area that gets built up, hold on. And you can reuse this. So as some of this falls down in this container, I can turn around, I can pour this back in my bowl. And I can continue. This is so fun. I love the organic nature of this. It doesn't look at all contrived. I can come back and create variances of color. So when you think about even ombre effects, so right now I'm coming back, isn't that beautiful? That looks like that's been hand glazed. It is if you were working in a pottery class. I can come back over here. I'm just going to pour this down. So I'm going to reuse this, pour it back in there. Now, so I'll continue to kind of move my mug around like this. And if there are any areas that I don't like, or that I want to be able to get some movement, watch this. So I'm going to take a straw, and I'm just going to gradually kind of blow through it to be able to create some gradations. Is that close enough? Can you see that? Should I get over? I want you to be able to see it. Can you get real close? Now watch this. See how you can move that around and manipulate it? So while it's wet and before it's actually set up, now, see like things like this? I love that. That's part of the beauty of this being hand done. Even little areas like this that we call that's more of a negative space. I like to be able to kind of make it gradated. Can you see that? Look at that. Mr. Howard doesn't want me to get this on my counter. All right, now, as always, you can ask questions. I'm going to be coming back and I'm going to be able to show you later how to be able to really continue to manipulate this. This is part of the reason why I want you to have a plastic fork, because I'm going to just get the tip of this fork where it's wet just a little bit, and I can hit it. Do you see that little mark? Is that showing up? Can you see that, the reticulation? That gives me just a little bit of color, but look how thin it is. I can't do this with a spoon. I'm gonna have to do this with a fork. Can you see that? Isn't that beautiful? It's just so yummy. All right, so again, I'm gonna take my straw, and if there's some areas that I wanna be able to fill in, move your straw around like this. Don't go in a funnel to where you're going in one direction. I want you to move it around. And it acts like a paintbrush. I don't want you to come back with a paintbrush. I don't want to see any brush marks. I don't want to see any tool. Part of the beauty of this looking so organic and so beautiful is the fact that it's more of a drip process. It's reticulation. And it's coming back about it being soft. Can you see that? Is that yummy? What do y'all think? Do you love it? All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come back like I did with my other mug. I'm gonna fill this in just a little bit, and I'll continue to kind of play with it. I've got some time, and here what I love doing, this is what we call doing a first pass. When you get all this down and you're moving your mug around and you get to where you like it, this is what's called a first pass. You can put this in the oven if you want and let it be cooked for about 35 minutes at 325 to 350 degrees. Now here's another deal. You don't have to, if this is your first pass and you want to create this gradated wash over this mug, just allow this to dry for about an hour to an hour and a half. Then you can come back and do your second pass and make it darker. And then that way you can bake it. So I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. All right, so I'm gonna set this aside over here on my cook plate. And now I wanna be able to show you as far as mixing colors. Guys, if you have not gone to pottery shows, if you've seen different potter artists where they will create literally works of art like this where it's several different colors, it would be a really fun thing for you to be able to go to and be able to kind of experience kind of to their thought process when they go through it. All right, so I'm going to be taking Water to My Ocean. I'm going to put a little bit of that blue in here. This is one of my absolute faves. And then I'm going to take another bowl because I want to have two colors. I usually will work with having complementary colors. I'm going to want a little bit of a red, but also I'm going to take Green with Envy. I'm going to add a little bit of that here. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of blue to it. That way I've got three colors going on here. And then I'll have a third bowl with just a little bit of tally-ho. Okay? All right. So with all of these, if you're going to be creating this kind of look, you are going to want to thin them. So I'm going to take this. And I usually will take a little bit of warm tap water. I don't like working with cool. I think it has a tendency to make it blend better with warm. And again, if you're just now popping on, I am working with my ceramic paints. These are permanent, beautiful ceramic paints that were developed by us. There's not another product like this on the market because it's not thinned with paint thinners or turpentines. This is thinned with water. It makes it a very easy product to be able to work with. The reason I have on gloves today is because I am doing a dirty pour, and so it makes it to where I want it to be not on my plate and my cup and not on my fingernails. But if you're not working with it thin in the gel form, if you are working with it on a gel form, you don't have to wear the gloves. All right, so I just want to show you one more thing as far as just being able to play with it. So this is a plate. I'm going to lay this down here like this. And I'm just going to kind of move it around, just like you would a dirty pour. And it gives that beautiful glazy effect. I can come back now with another color. So I'm going to set this down. You probably want to get a larger Tupperware container to be able to do that on. And you can make your glazes a little bit thicker, especially when you come back on a second pass. You can make your glaze just a little bit thicker, so you're going to have more coverage. It'll be just a little bit more opaque. So I have mixed Green with Envy and Water to My Ocean together. Do you not love that glazy effect over that white? I just love it. All right, so I'm going to add just a little bit here. Pour that off. Come over here. It really allows you a lot of creative versatility. So if you wanted to, you could just have the inside, the blue. You can have more of this green on the outside. And there again, you can come back with your straw. The straw acts as a tool because, again, I don't really want you working with a paintbrush too much. If you want, while it's wet, you might have a little bit of an opportunity to manipulate it. I just want to be really careful because the whole idea behind this is that it's very fluid, it's very natural looking, and anytime you start to put any tool into it like that, you're going to be able to see a type of imprint. So I'll continue to just kind of play with this. This lets you see kind of what I did yesterday when I was working with this. This acts as a backdrop too for a stencil. So that way, if you want to come back with a design or a saying, this is one of our scripture verse stencils. And I love these smaller ones because it allows me to be able to use them with the inks on mugs. And creating these backdrops are just a beautiful backdrop for more of a glazed effect for you to use your scripture verses on. So I'm going to take my gloves off now. And remember, if you haven't worked with our stencils before, they're adhesive and they're a mesh material. You'll wash these with soap and water just like you do everything else. I'll lay this on top of here. I love the idea of having these gorgeous backdrops like this by doing a dirty pour with your ceramic paints. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my, let's see, you know what, I'll go in and take a little bit of black. Now I do have a brush here that I have cut the tip off of. I'm going to spread that through here like this. Sorry for my water. I'm in my kitchen. I hope y'all have really been able to find the joy during this time of quarantine and being able to be creative and cook. I know Gina and I are saying it's definitely time. We've been trying to get off these 15 pounds that we've gained during the quarantine. But, you know, in some odd way, it's also been kind of a sweet time. All right, so can you see, I want to be sure I'm taking that off a little bit too fast. Can you see as far as the detail on that? Look at the backdrop. I love the backdrop of now my design. Look at that. Isn't that fabulous? Can you see it? Can you see? We've got 3 cameras in here trying to get this. All right. Loving this. I've got just a little bit of smear on here I want to be able to take care of. All right, I'm going to do this side too. So as always, if you have questions about the products here at Maker Studio or the process and what we're showing you today with the dirty pours, please ask your questions. I'll be going back on here with my staff later and we're going to answer them. But this really and truly opens up a whole new door of opportunity for you to be able to manipulate these ceramic paints with water, pour them over your pieces, start making works of art, and having it to where you can have these beautiful backdrops to your ceramic pieces, your plates, your mugs, or even glass. I am working on some glass etching pieces that I'm going to be doing dirty pours on, and it is going to blow your mind. They're incredible glazes. Have a fantastic Monday, everybody.